Good evening everyone. Myself Arnab Ganguly, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department in Gargi Memorial Institute of Technology College. Today this is the class of Electrical and Electronics Measurement of Electrical 4th semester syllabus. Now our topics is that electrostatic instrument. Last day we have done an introductory class of electrostatic instruments where we discussed about the principles of basic electrostatic instruments, the types of electrostatic instruments and the torque equations of electrostatic instruments. Also we are discussing about the advantage, disadvantages and applications. Now today we will do further discussions about the different types of electrostatics instrument. Now as per our last day discussions, we see that the electrostatic instrument has basically two types. Number one is quadrant type electrometer and another is attracted disc type electrometer, and these are classified in such manner that about the applications voltage and also about the working principles and arrangement there are some difference between the types of this. Now firstly we are going to discuss about the quadrant electrometer. Now what is quadrant electrometer? See, this is a basic construction diagram of quadrant type electrometer. Now there is four parts. See, first part, second part, third part, fourth part. These four are called a metal double quadrant types arrangement, and it consists four fixed metal double quadrants arrangement to form a circular box. 1 2 3 4 fixed metal double quadrants to form a circular box, and also there is a moving vein or needle that is a double sector shaped. See, this is the dotted line. This dotted line is the forms of the moving vein or needle that is a double sector shaped. Now these quadrants, first 1 2 3 4, these four fixed quadrants that is connected in the opposite pair. See, this is connected in the opposite pair, and here this is the moving vein. Now the arrangement of moving vein is such that there can be two type of arrangement. Number one, the moving vein can be suspended. The moving vein arrangement can be suspended by a phosphor, bronze or silver quartz thread. See what happens, this moving vein can be suspended from top from a use of phosphor, bronze or silver quartz thread, and the arrangement is such that this moving vein is actually in the middle part of the quadrants. So how it is arranged? See our arrangement clearly. See, this is the other construction diagram. See, this is the quadrants. This is quadrants and this is also quadrants, and this is the needle, and this needle is equidistant from these two quadrants. That means this is suspended in such a arrangement, such a manner that this is equidistant from the top and bottom quadrants. See, this is the top quadrants and this is the bottom quadrants, and this needle is equidistant from those two. So this is a arrangement of that. And another type of arrangement can be done, that is a alternate arrangement, that is the mounting the needle. This needle or vein can be mounted on a spindle. That means that is not suspended, that is mounted on the spindle, and the controlling torque is provided by a spring attached to the spindle. That means we know that as we are considering about the deflection type instrument, so that means there is two torque, that is deflecting torque and controlling torque. So the deflecting torque actually deflects the pointer, and the pointer deflects over the calibrated scale and gives us the indications of the value, here the measured voltage. Now the controlling torque is provided by the spring generally, and this arrangement is such a type that you can suspend this vane from top using a thread, or you can alternately attached this vane or mounted this vane from a spindle on which a spring is also attached to provide the controlling torque. So there is two type of attachment, and when we are doing for the first attachment arrangement, that means the suspension type, here see this is the suspension type, and in this suspension types of arrangement actually the needle carries a mirror, there is a mirror attached to the needles, and the indications of the reading can be made with the use of lamp and scale arrangement. Now see, here another two connections. Actually what happens, the quadrant electrometer can be connected in two types. One is heterostatic connections, another is idiostatic connections. So what is the difference between two? See, here the four quadrants operations. So this is one part, this is another part, and this needle is connected between these. See, this is the quadrants and this is the needles, and these needles it is attached with a mirror. And also what happens, a HT battery is connected to the needles, in which portion actually what happens, this HT battery is connected with the needle in such a manner that actually charging this needle in a potential considerably above the potential of the quadrants, which is connected to the negative side of the voltage measured. See what happens, this HT battery is connected here, and here this is the portion of the quadrant that is actually connected with the negative side of the voltage to be measured. This voltage arrangement actually we know that the electrostatic instrument is going to measure the voltage. So the measured voltage is applied between the quadrants and the needle, and this negative part of the voltage that is connected to this portion of the quadrant, and the HT battery is also connected to the needle here as to raise the potential of this needle above the potential of this quadrant where the negative side of the voltage is connected. Now another connections is idiostatic connections. What is the difference? See, in heterostatics there is a HT battery connections, but in the idiostatic connections there is no HT battery actually connected. So what happens, the needle is here actually connected to the quadrant. Here you can see that this needle is not connected to the quadrant. This is the quadrant, this is the quadrant, and the needle is suspended equidistantly in between these two, but not attached with this. But here the needle is connected in a one portion of quadrant. See, this needle is connected here. So as this negative polarity of the voltage is connected this point, so needle is here charged as negative. So what happens, see that in the idiostatic connections the needle is directly connected to the one pair of quadrants, and so in which pair the negative voltage or positive voltage, whatever it may be, here this is the negative polarity of the voltage side is connected to this quadrant, and as the needle is connected here, so needle is also charged as negative. Now this is the actual connection part. That means the quadrant electrometer obviously have to be some quadrants. There is four quadrants, these are fixed, and there is a moving vane or needle that is moving here. So why this vane is going to move between this fixed quadrant? Now the working principle here is that if we applied this voltage between a needle and the quadrant, then what happens here, due to the accumulation of charge, a electrostatic force appears. We know that for the electrostatic instrument, the main principle is lies on the productions of static electricity. And here the charged conductor, due to the accumulation of charge, there is a electrostatic force appears, and which electrostatic force actually going to rotate the moving vane. And now what happens when the moving vane is going to rotate between the quadrants, then obviously a controlling torque that is provided by a spring actually going to provide the control actions. That means to provide the controlling torque. That means we know that when in a deflecting instrument there is a deflecting torque, then there is also a controlling torque, and when the deflecting torque is equal to controlling torque, then the system is actually in balance condition. So when the action of electrostatic force appears, the needle is going to rotate, needle is going to move, and for this reason the controlling torque appears, the controlling torque given by the spring, and so the needle take the positions in this arrangement where the deflecting torque is equal to the controlling torque. That means the balance conditions. So what happens again, you see that in the principle of operations, due to the accumulation of charge, the electrostatic force is set up, and for this reason this needle is going to rotate. The needle is going to rotate between the fixed quadrants, and for these rotations the suspensions or the control spring that is provide the controlling torque, and needle takes up that positions where the deflecting torque equal to the controlling torque. That means balance condition. So obviously to get that position, to reach that positions, this needle is actually moved over a calibrated scale. So when that is moved, that means that is the actual amount of deflections, and which is actually in turns provide the amount of voltage. Because if you are not considering this voltage, if you are not applying this voltage, there is no provision of accumulation of charge, and if there is no accumulation of charge, no electrostatic force generated, and so there will be no movement of this needle. So the movement of this needle from its initial positions to the positions where the deflecting torque equal to the controlling torque, that is actually the measurement of the voltage to be measured here applied. Now we are going to the mathematics part. Here the deflecting torque equations, actually we are providing it in this manner, that is epsilon r square by d into v square. So what is v? V is the applied voltage. Already last day when we are considering about the equations of torque, we see that the applied the deflecting torque or the angle of deflections, that is proportional to the square of the applied voltage. So that is Td equal to epsilon r square by d into v square, where epsilon is the absolute permittivity. Here actually what happens, see, between these fixed quadrants there is some air gaps, so we have to consider about the absolute permittivity part, that is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12, and r is the radius of each quadrant, that is the radius of each quadrant, and d is the distance of needle from the plate. See here, this is distance between these two plates, and already we have discussed that this needle is arranged such a manner that it is equidistant from those two plates. So this is the distance between needle and plates, and then the V is the voltage to be measured. So the controlling torque Tc equal to k theta, that is k is the spring constant we know. So what happens? in the steady state condition the Tc will be equal to Td, so that means epsilon 0 r square by d v square equal to k theta, and theta equal to epsilon 0 r square by kd v square. And from this notation we again see that the theta, the angle of deflection, is directly proportional to the square of the applied voltage. That means it actually follows the square law response. This is already we have discussed earlier classes. Now this is the arrangement of quadrant electrometer, and this type of arrangement actually used up to 20 kV of voltage. Now there is another type of meters, that is Kelvin multicellular voltmeter. Actually this type of voltmeter used for the low voltage applications purpose. Actually we know that the electrostatic meter is only applicable for the higher voltage, but this is the exceptions that Kelvin multicellular voltmeter can measure voltage in low range. Now here what is the construction? See, here also we are using the needles and the fixed vanes, but the change is there, the difference is that in the previous diagram we see that there is 4 fixed quadrant, but here you see that we are using multiple of fixed quadrants and multiple of needles. So these are the needles and these are the, that is marked in red, these are the fixed vanes or fixed quadrants. Here a scale is connected and a pointer is connected to the scale, and that is a phosphor bronze suspension. Again you can see that this is a phosphor bronze suspension. The moving system is suspended by a, here the moving system is obviously the needles, and the moving system is suspended by a phosphor bronze suspension. Actually we have used here the phosphor bronze suspension to reduce the bearing friction. And here another thing is that a coach spring is provided. You can see that this is a coach spring. See, this is a coach spring and here a torsion head is attached. So what is the function of coach spring? Actually coach spring provides against a breaking of suspension due to the vibration. Actually due to a vibration the suspension can be braked. So to provide the protection due to the vibration effect we use this coach spring. And there is torsion head. Torsion head is the function of torsion head is actually to provide the zero setting. Now why we are using many fixed vanes and many needles? Actually we are using that the large number of quadrants to give a high deflecting torque at a given low voltage. Already we have discussed that this type of meter is applicable for low voltage applications. So to do the applications in low voltage, for low voltage generation a deflecting torque should be higher. So when the deflecting torque should be higher? When the deflecting torque is generated in high values, actually then when there is a much more productions of electrostatic force. So how electrostatic force can be produced in large amounts? So for this reasons we have do this type of arrangement. There are many fixed quadrants and many needles. So when the due to the applied voltage there is accumulations of charge, and for to the large amount of accumulations of charge here there is a lots of electrostatic force which going to deflect, which going to give the deflecting torque more for a low voltage. And here is another arrangement is that here the damping is done damping is done using a oil dashpot. So the damping torque is provided by the oil dashpot, and in the earlier arrangement we see there the damping torque can be provided by the eddy current damping. Now this is the Kelvin multicellular voltmeter. Now actually we are considered about the quadrant type operations. Now what happens in the quadrant type operations, there is one more point we are using here for the suspension type arrangement. Here in the previous one we already discussed about the suspension type arrangement. Here for the suspension type arrangement we can use a high amount of resistance. Actually we have to use the high amount of resistance that is connected in series, because to limiting the current, as the needle is suspended, so there is a provision that in an accidental case this vein can be touched with the quadrant, and if that is touched with the quadrant for the suspension type arrangement, then there will be a short circuit problem. So for this reason, for the suspension type a high resistance is used to limiting the starting current. Now we have done the quadrant type. Now that is the attracted disc type. So what is attracted disc type? Here that is a attracted disc type means there is two discs, one is fixed disc and other is moving disc, and there will be a attraction between that. See the figure, that is the fixed disc, that is a moving disc, and there is provided with the guard ring. So why we have here provided the guard ring? Actually guard ring is used to reduce the fringing effects. So to reduce the fringing effects we use this guard ring, and there is also a air gap between these two. The voltage is applied between the fixed disc and the moving disc. There is also a coach spring is attached, and that is attached with a micrometer head. Now the effective area of this moving disc, actually this moving disc is going to move, going to rotate. So the effective area of this moving disc is the actual area of this plus half of the area of air gap between this guard ring and this moving disc. That means the effective area of this rotations of moving disc is here the area of this, that is the total area of moving disc plus half of the area of air gap between the guard ring and the moving disc. So we have to consider this for the area calculations, the effective area calculations of the moving disc. Now what happens if we are applying the voltage between the fixed disc and the moving disc? Obviously what happens, the moving disc is going to attracted towards the fixed disc, and as it is going to attracted, that means it is going to bring down. So to manage these effects, to control these effects, we have to move the micrometer head. We have to move the micrometer head to brought back this moving disc to its initial position, that means 0 positions. So the turning, the movement of micrometer head, that means what the amount of movement of the micrometer head to bring back the moving disc from its final positions to the initial positions, that is the measurement of applied voltage. Here again you see that this is the fixed, this is the moving, that means if you are applying voltage, this disc is going to attract it towards this fixed disc, and so to controlling this action the micrometer head is turning, and due to the turning of micrometer head, that is actually again brought back to its initial positions. So the amount of turning, the amount of movement of the micrometer head is actually used to brought back the moving disk to its initial positions as it is attracted and brought down to the fixed disk. So this amount of movement is actually indicate the amount of voltage applied, because as the amount of voltage, due to the amount of applied voltage, this is charged and this moving disk is going to brought down towards the fixed disk due to the force of attractions. So that is also called Kelvin absolute electrometer. Now that is indicate, that gives us the indications of the absolute potential difference here. And in the modern development, these working parts of instrument can also provided with a highly evacuated chamber. Why highly evacuated chamber? Actually we know that the dielectric strength of a high vacuum in comparison, the dielectric strength of a vacuum in comparison with the air, that is high, the superior, the dielectric strength of vacuum is superior with respect to the air. So if we are considering about a vacuum chamber, then we can reduce the gap between the fixed disk and moving disk. So obviously for a given voltage, a maximum amount of force can be induced, can be generated. So due to this reason, we can use the evacuated chamber or vacuum here. Now the mathematical part is, we know that this is the force of attraction equation last day we have discussed, we have derived, that is half v square dc dx, where c is the capacitance between the plates and x is the displacement. Now this dc dx for the closely spaced plates, when these plates are closely spaced, for this we can consider this dc dx equal to c by d. D means the distance between these plates. So if these are very much closely spaced, so we can consider this as dc dx equal to c by d. So c equal to epsilon a by d. We know that epsilon is the permittivity, a is the area of disk. So what is the area? That is area of the moving disk plus half of the area of air gap between the moving disk and guard ring. We already discussed, this is the effective area part. So F equal to half epsilon A V square by D square. That means again you can see the force of attraction for which the deflections occurs, that is proportional to the square of the voltage. That means F equal to half V square dc dx. So for C, if we put epsilon A by D, so by do the derivations, that is our final outcome, F equal to half epsilon A V square by D square. So these are the different types of electrostatic meters we have discussed today about the attracted disk type and quadrant disk types, and already previously we discussed about the types, classifications, working principles, advantage, disadvantage, etc. of these meters, and these are the voltmeters used for the high voltage measurements. Also there is a exceptions when the Kelvin multicellular meter, it can be used for low voltage measurement part. So that's all for today. Thank you.